welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a new piece of technology that could finally put an end to the whole digital identity nightmare. We're talking about a kind of universal key that could solve that super frustrating and, let's be honest, insecure process of proving who you are online. So let's start with a problem that I know we have all faced. You know that moment you just want to access a website and boom, you're hit with a request to upload your passport. It feels clunky, it feels really insecure, and you're just left there wondering, where is my most sensitive data gonna end up? There has to be a better way, right? All right, here's our roadmap for today. We're gonna kick things off with what's being called the age gate crisis, then explore the new kind of internet architecture needed to fix it. After that, we'll get right into the UID, what it is, how it works, who benefits, and what it all means for the future of our identity. So first up, what exactly is this age gate crisis? Well, at its core, it's this massive conflict that's really pushing the internet to a breaking point. It's a fundamental clash between two things we all want: safety and privacy. See, on one side, you have governments all over the world, and they're, quite rightly, trying to protect kids online with really strict age verification laws. But then on the other side, you've got users, people like you and me, demanding that our personal data stays private. And right now, those two very legitimate goals are in direct opposition. And the reality is, the way we do things now is just failing on all fronts. Every time you upload your ID, you're helping create a centralized database, which is basically a honeypot for hackers. And for us, the users, it's just a slow, annoying process that we have to do over and over and over again. You know, solving a problem this big requires more than just a clever app. It means we have to rethink the internet's fundamental plumbing. We're talking about a foundational shift into what some people are starting to call Web4. So, welcome to the Internet of Community. Instead of the giant, walled-off social networks we have today, companies like Linkspreed are pioneering something called Social Networks as a Service, or SNaaS. This model basically lets anyone launch their own interconnected social network, which creates a much more open ecosystem for everyone. And that brings us to the hero of this story, the Universal Interplanetary Identity, or UIID. This is the key that's designed to unlock that new internet and finally solve our age verification headache. Probably the best way to think about this is like a digital passport. It's the one single secure key that proves who you are across this entire new Web4 world. But, and this is the important part, it does it privately and securely without you having to hand over your personal files to every single website you visit. So how does it actually protect your privacy while proving your age? Well, it's not magic, but it is some pretty clever tech. Let's break down the three main pillars that make it all work. Okay, the first pillar is a total game changer: zero knowledge proofs. Right now, you send your entire ID file. With a ZKP, you can prove a fact is true, like I am over 18, without revealing any of the data behind it. The website doesn't get your name, it doesn't get your birth date, it just gets a cryptographically secure yes. That's it. The second pillar is anonymous KYC, which stands for Know Your Customer. This is what ends the nightmare of uploading your ID again and again. You verify your identity one time with the UID protocol and you're done. You can get instant access to any community in the network, all while keeping your real-world identity totally separate from what you do online. And the third pillar is something called hardware-signed truth. This is all about fighting AI deepfakes and bots. The UIID uses the secure hardware that's already built into your phone to verify that there's a real human present, but without ever storing your sensitive biometric data, like a face scan, on some central server somewhere. So this new approach clearly builds a better system. But who are the real winners here? Well, let's take a look at the benefits for us, the users, for the platforms, and yeah, even for governments. It turns out this is one of those rare win-win-win situations. Governments get the child safety compliance they want, but without having to build a surveillance state. Platforms get to offload the massive legal liability of storing IDs and can finally get a handle on bots. And for us, we get simple one-click access without ever having to fill out a form again. But here's the thing. To really get this technology is so much bigger than just a patch for one problem. This isn't just about age gates. It's about building a completely new foundational layer for digital identity itself. The vision here is absolutely huge. The UID is designed with a future in mind where our identity can't just be tied to one company or one government. It needs to be decentralized, secured by math, and ultimately controlled by us.
This is the middle ground in that whole identity versus privacy debate, and it could create a digital world that is safer, faster, and way more private.
There's a quote from the source material that just captures this perfectly. It's all about empowering communities through this new form of identity, helping us navigate all the massive changes happening in our digital lives. And all of this leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. By solving that seemingly impossible puzzle of safety, privacy, and convenience, technologies like the UIID are forcing us to ask a really big question. Are we finally looking at the beginning of a new, more trustworthy internet?